Sharon Bay, peace, family, peace. Peace to everybody coming in now. Peace, 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 family. Let's talk tonight. I hope you guys have been having a good day. Brianna, peace. Christian, peace. DJ Shea Butter, peace. Mecca, peace. Dark Side of the Moon, peace. Alexander Maduki, peace. Enforce 7E, peace. D, peace. Yes, this is the I see some of you guys asking. This is the AOS solar medallion. Had this for a while now. You know, I wear it every now and then. This one right here, y'all gonna run y'all about 500. This one right here gonna run y'all about 500. But I recommend getting it. It's really dope. Energy is amazing. The energy is amazing. You know, I pretty much have all his medallions. So I might be missing like 3 or 4, you know what I'm saying, medallions. But yes, we are good money, family. We are back. Let me see. We are good money. So I want to talk to you guys today. Somebody asked if it's from Dr. Gibson. Yes, it's from Dr. Gibson, from his website. Miles Morales, okay. Peace, smoothish, peace. Everybody coming in. Peace to everybody. Peace and love. Peace and love. You know, family, I was talking to a female friend of mine today. A good friend of mine. And she was going through some things, you know. She's going through some things. And we all go through things, you know what I mean? We all go through things, family. Brother Yosef is not exempt from that. You know, everybody goes through it. Everybody has out of this world problems. I remember just, what is this, 2022? Early last year, I'm in the middle of a live stream. And my little brother texted me and said his daughter was missing. They ain't been able to find her for hours. I was just getting ready to end the live stream, and he texted that to me. And I had to go to my brother's house and encourage him and his wife, and I promised her, of course I did a spell, and I promised her that we will find my niece. And we did. Within minutes of me saying that, we found her. Everybody go through things. Some things are really rough. Some things are really tough. But you have to understand that the life that we live, especially as metaphysical people, is not for the weak. So what am I really saying? As a metaphysical person, don't just read books on magic. Don't just read books on spirituality. Read books on elevating your mind, strengthening your mind. Because we all gonna go through it. You know, some people, let me adjust my camera here. some people, are just starting out in spirituality. You know what I mean? They're just starting out in spirituality. And they're going through that whole phase of, my whole family's turned against me. I talk about mindfulness a lot, how to be in the moment. A lot of times what people worry about is tomorrow. A lot of times what people stress about is tomorrow or next week or a year from now. Or they're going through something now and they're wondering how it's going to affect them in the future. Oh, if I don't pay my light bill, I'm not going to be able to live here next month. They're going to cut my lights off Tuesday if I don't pay my light bill today. They're going to cut it off Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? So it's important to live in the moment and take care of today. If you have problems today, take care of them today. But if you're going through a healing process from you went through a breakup or you went through maybe you went through a really bad surgery and you hate where the surgery has you. A lot of us has been through those things. I want to encourage you guys to focus on the moment and just heal and just get through today. Don't be thinking about next week, tomorrow, and what's going to happen. Learn how to focus on the moment and get through the moment. That's very important, family. And that's kind of what my friend was going through. She was focusing on something and thinking about the future based on what she was going through today. And she thought about it so negative. This is a spiritual person, friend of mine for some years now. And she thought about it till it pretty much put her almost in a state of depression. And I told her how dangerous that was, you know what I mean? And how much we need to, as spiritual people, we have to keep our mind strong. Right? I gave her the story of how my leg in 2020 almost died pretty much from an abscess on my leg that exploded out. A small cut, family, a small cut that turned into a wound that was 4 inches because the skin was falling off and it became infected. A wound that big, all because I ignored the wound. I'm like, oh, I wash my legs when I'm in the shower, soap and water to take care of it. Not thinking that the infection got inside my leg, right? And I believe what it was a small can in a garbage can that cut my leg, ignoring it. And from that, family, I had to get my leg scraped with a razor for 6 months straight. Twice a month for 6 months, they had to scrape my leg. And it was so painful. It was so painful. Imagine having a razor and they're scraping the dead skin off of what already healed. But they had to do it so the dead skin could leave and the new skin can grow on top. So the 4-inch wound kept shrinking down to, so I've been through some pain and suffering, you know what I mean? And that's nothing compared to what other people go through. But my whole thing is that if I wanted to get to my healing, I know I had to go through that. I saw a beautiful post today that Conjure Queen, shout out to Sister Conjure Queen. She put up some good stuff, really good stuff. She put up a post today that talked about, I think it was a priest or something sitting on a podium. And he was saying that you asked for strength, so I gave you weak people to take care of. You asked for, money, so I had you take care of poor people. It's just saying that all these things that you asked for, and you don't understand that sometimes you have to go through things to get to where you're trying to be. Be careful what you ask for. Because you just might get it. You just might get it. But what people miss out on is what you have to go through a lot of times to get there. Right? That's very, very important, family. So I want to encourage all you guys today who's going through something. We all go through things. Focus on right now. Focus on what you can do today to make yourself feel better. And make yourself feel better now. Don't focus on tomorrow and next week. You can only do what you can do today. Tomorrow ain't here yet, family. Yes, patience. Patience. Brother Yosef had to really learn, because I was a suicidal person, right? And I had to really learn how to control my mind. I think that's one of the best things that even helped me in spirituality, is learning how to control my mind, right? To the point where from reading Montauk Chia, I saw somebody just brought it up in the comments, Miles Morales. From reading Montauk Chia, I learned how to transmute the emotion. I first learned how to do it on a small level from the book Spiritual Growth by Sanaya Roman. That's why I first saw the effect of transmuting negative energy into positive energy. Then I took it to another level by using Montauk Chia's techniques. You see what I'm saying? Very powerful. Brother Saigon, peace, family. I took it to the next level. You know what I mean? So your mind, family, start getting some books on controlling your mind. And this is what I talk about when I say, don't be so spiritually high, you know earthly good. You got to still live here. You still have responsibilities. You still have to deal with your family. Learn how to control your mind. I like mindfulness. Right? Mindfulness is very powerful, very good stuff. All right. So I'm going to answer some questions, you know. Also, shout out to everybody who's enjoying the healing fire technique I showed. A lot of people emailed me and told me that the experience was very good for them when they did it. I think one person told me they did it during sunrise and sunset. Then I think everybody else did it at sunset. And it was very powerful. Very powerful. So you guys give me 1 second. So shout out to everybody that did that. And I'm glad it's working for you guys. Somebody said, okay, let's get to some questions here. You know, that's what I love doing, talking about spirituality. Somebody said, you said animals will evolve as well as we get to closer to 4D. How will that change and how fast? Nobody knows how fast, but it won't happen fast. I cannot give you a time, Christian, or a moment or the exact day it's going to happen. As we go through these different time shifts, it takes time. It takes time, family. And what I mean by that is the evolution of animals is them growing in consciousness to the point where they can communicate with you. All right. So that's what I was talking about, family. Yes, in the spirit world, animals could talk to you directly, or what you could call the fourth dimension. Brother Yosef, what is a red dragon symbol of? That's a good question, but the red dragon, there's a lot of orders and a lot of symbols of a red dragon. So I can't tell you what a red dragon is a symbol of. It depends on what are you looking at it on, right? I've seen symbols of red dragons biting their tail. I've seen symbols of red dragons with their wings out. I've seen symbols of red dragons with no wings, and they look like a snake, like a snake-like dragon. So it all depends, family, on what type of red dragon you're observing. All right. I got my stuff for the homotherapy, just needed to do it now. Okay, Ebony, that's dope. That's dope. I'm telling you, it'll change the whole atmosphere. It's Horus Jupiter energy. Yes, you can look at Horus as Jupiter. Horus is more of a solar energy, but he does have Jupiter energy tied into him. He does have that Shango energy, that Thor energy tied into him. But Horus is more of a solar energy. I got the COVID shot. How does that impact my spiritual enlightenment? It doesn't, family. It doesn't. If anything, it may affect your body, in my opinion, but it doesn't. You know, I'm not a medical professional, but it does not affect your spirituality. It doesn't affect your soul. All right, keep that in mind. So you can still do your spiritual work, whether you got the shot or not, family. It's not going to affect you on that level. All right. How do I find my passion so I can follow my destiny? I can't tell you. Okay, so pretty much, family, your passion is something you enjoy more than anything else. All right. Your passion is something you enjoy that you envision yourself doing more than anything else. That's what you're passionate about, something you love. You may not know what that is yet. You have to go look for it. And you can only find that by exploring new options, exploring things, trying new things. I always talk about how I never really knew I loved poetry until I went to a poetry reading. And then I realized I love poetry, right? So you have to try new things, family. Try painting and going to poetry readings and, go listen to some jazz and, try new things. And that's how you find your passion. But really, if you think about it, you already know what you love to do. You will envision yourself doing more than anything else. And it doesn't have to be spiritual. I told you guys I talked to a nurse lady one time. She's a doctor. And she wanted to make purses. That's what her passion was. Right? And if that's what's going to make you happy, that's what you got to do. What do we consider our nationality once we have officially joined TP and have the tribal ID? That's a good question. So once again, family, TP is the ministry that we use to operate in the public. The nation, which is your nationality, is Watatiri. Watatiri, which means thunder. You're part of the Thunder Nation. You are a indigenous person. But also, if you want to be really specific about it, your true nationality is the tribe you belong to. If you join TP, we ask you, what tribe are you from? If you say, for example, if you say you're from the Blackfoot tribe, that's what your grandmama told you, I'm not going to say that you're not. Right? I'm going to say, okay, if you're from that tribe, cool. That's who you from. So every person in TP has to be from a tribe already. Right? Or we can adopt people, but you have to be from a tribe. And then that's your tribe. And then once you have a tribe, you join a nation, which is a bunch of tribes together. Or a bunch of people from tribes together. So your nationality is, you can just say indigenous, because that's what they would call it in America. Or you can say Watatiri. All right? That's what it is, family. What is your experience with dragons, and what is it like being in the presence of one? I talked about that in my Dragon Magic 101. I talked about that, how I've seen many dragons in the spirit realm, and how dragons, I found out that when you see very misty areas, a lot of time this is the breath of a dragon's host. Being in the presence of one is very frightening. I'll be honest with you. If it's your first time, it can be a little frightening. If it's your dragon, you probably won't be as frightened. You probably won't be as frightened if it's your dragon. Okay? But dragons like to talk in riddles. They also don't like talking English, but they will if they have to. Right? They can speak any language in the universe, which you call the all speak. All right? So being one was very intimidating. Very intimidating, family. Montauk Tia talks about the 5 elements: water, fire, earth, metal, wood. How do these 5 elements correlate to water, fire, earth, spirit? So, to answer that, so let me read it correctly. Montauk Chia talks about the 5 elements: water, earth, fire, metal, and wood. How do these 5 elements correlate to water, fire, earth, air, and spirit? So what they do is they took air out, and they put metal, and that's pretty much what it is, family. And it still lines up the same way. You can still call it, if it makes you feel better, water, fire, air, earth, and air, and spirit. You know what I mean? It's the same thing, family. So I guess from the Chinese perspective, they want to use metal instead. Which, I always wondered about that, because metal is a part of earth. You know what I mean? But metal is its own element. So, and then there's different variations of metal. You know what I'm saying? So I've always correlated it to earth, air, fire, water, spirit. So my lungs would be air. If you watch it and you read the book, he actually talks about that, how the lungs are air. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's kind of what it represents, family, what it means. This is a Chinese version of it. And if your heart is fire, then once you learn how to control the fire inside your heart, you can control the fire outside. As within, if you control it within, as without, you control it without. All right, let's see here. I started seeing what looked like letters or symbols while meditating under the sun. What does that mean? That's very powerful. That's what you call solar codes. That's the light codes coming to you, family. Your subconscious mind is picking up on that. I have pictures with letters in my aura when I'm looking at the sun or when I'm standing in the sun. So that's what that represents, family, and that's what that is. It is a the sun giving you symbols, right? Solar signatures. You can also call them light codes, real light codes. You may not know what they mean consciously, but your subconscious mind will pick it up. All right. A red snake-like dragon flew over my head in a dream. Okay, so that's not so that could be an aspect of you. Usually 9 times out of 10 when you see a dragon in a dream, it's you. And dragons can shape shift. They can morph. They can look like people. All right. So next time you see a dragon, if you're awaking a dream, ask it to come speak to you. Ask it to come speak to you, family. Since I opened my third eye, I keep feeling like school and work and stuff is no longer important or a priority. Is this normal or am I getting lazy? This is normal because you're realizing the truth, family. You're starting to realize the truth, right? I'm not trying to sound ignorant, but I never liked school. It never, like, if it wasn't about science or history, US history or something like that, I never really cared for anything else. Even gym, I never cared for none of that stuff. I love science. I love US history. I love art. I love music class. I love those things. And back in the ancient days, what they would do is they would find something that you were good at and they would bring that out of you, right? To educate means to draw out of. Never forget that. To educate comes from the root word educate, means to draw out of. So they're supposed to find your passion in you and draw it out of you. That's what a real teacher is supposed to do. That's what they did in the past. But today you go to an institution or a school and they put things inside of you so you can be trained. So trust me, there's nothing wrong with disliking school. It sounds ignorant today, but there's nothing wrong with that at all, family. That's what your third eye is showing. Do you know Brother Yosef, do you know anything about the platinum flame? I've heard of it, but I don't know much about it, family. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, yep. Bro Yosef, please, people say all the time, I'm very calm. Why does that seem to make some people uneasy? If you have a calm spirit, and it's means you have you have a very positive spirit. You have a very moral spirit about you. People tell me that all the time. People don't know Brother Yosef could be very dangerous if he wanted to, right? My face looks very innocent. I'm very kind to people because that's my nature. But I'm a Scorpio. And from a little kid, I've been a vengeful little something. I remember getting into fights with people when I was a kid, and I would come back an hour later and try to hit you with a rock in your head. It wasn't over yet, bro. Especially if you beat me up. It was not over. I'm coming back to get you. You understand? I'm coming back to get you by any means necessary. That's why I thank God I've never been in the streets. Because I'm not trying to do no drive-by shooting. I would have been the guy in a tree with a sniper gun. That would have been me. And you would have never seen me coming. I'm just very that's how I am mentally. I'm very I plan things out. Doesn't matter what it is in my life. If I'm gonna make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I'm already planning it out in my head. But if I'm angry about something, yes, that's something I had to get out of my spirit, because I used to think about doing things to people all the time that really, really would. If you disrespected me, even at the job, I first noticed this about myself. My mom would tell me stories, right? How when I was a kid, I was I would have these fits where I would just lose it. Like my brother ripped my homework one day. I don't remember this at all. My mom said I was 5. My brother was 3, and he ripped my homework, and I kicked him in the teeth. I kicked one of his teeth out and kicked him down the stairs. I was 5 years old. I don't remember that at all. My mom said she was so shocked at what I did because I was such a nice kid, quiet, until she said she couldn't even spank me. She said, and they called me JoJo. She said, JoJo, I couldn't even spank you when you did it. You blew me away. I was shocked but she said, I learned something about you that day. Don't cross you. When you get mad, you get mad. So when I used to have a job, and I'll never forget, I had this one teacher, this one boss named Dale. I couldn't stand him, man. He was very disrespectful, very rude. One of the first full-time jobs I ever had was I was a plastic injection molder. So I used to work at a factory, and I worked as a machine operator, and I used to actually make bottles and stuff. That was one of my first jobs ever, full-time jobs. It was my first full-time job, and I had a boss that was on my every day. You know what I'm saying? Yelling and screaming about nothing. I used to go home and picture killing this guy, or sneaking up on him when he leave, like sneaking up when he leave a job and doing stuff. I was a different person back then, y'all. Right? I was just a different person. So I was thinking about doing something to this man all the time. Thank God, I never went to that level. But that's always been my attitude. And I still got a little bit of that in me that I burned a lot of it out of me. But it takes a lot. That's why I don't let people on YouTube piss me off. Because you way over there saying it, you must not really mean it. You know what I'm saying? You must not really mean it. So I'm gonna let that go. You know what I'm saying? I don't have people say all kind of stuff about me. I'm gonna let it go because you way over there saying it. You know what I mean? So yeah. Sometimes when you have a very calm spirit, some negative spirits seek to bring you down to their level. They don't like you being calm. You bring this peace when you come around people. They don't like that. Right? So they try to shut it down on you. They try to bring you down to their level. Don't let them do that, family. It bothers people who are not calm, who don't have a calm spirit. Can I put alcohol on my ancestor altar with the Tybro medallion on there as well? Why would you put alcohol on your ancestor altar? Oh, I'm trying. Oh, okay. I'm thinking about the wrong alcohol. All right. I'm thinking, okay, so you're talking about liquor. I would say do it, family, if that's what your ancestors want. Don't put it up there if your ancestor. If you don't have an ancestor up there that didn't drink liquor, don't put it up there. If you have an ancestor that drinks liquor, yes, you can put that up there. On the ancestor altar, I would not put the only Tybro medallion I would put is probably the miracle prayer. But I wouldn't put something on the ancestor altar that I'm going to wear. Now, what I used to do is I used to take a ring. I still have the ring, my skull ring, and I used to put that on my ancestor altar and then take it off and put it back on. Because I wanted the ancestor, and it used to work. It worked because when I went to that spiritualist church, that's the first thing that lady said. She said, "You got these people around you." So I knew it worked. But I wouldn't recommend people putting things on the altar if you're going to wear them. Because the land of the dead brings a certain negative energy with it. Destruction energy. It does. It's not that your ancestors are destructive. It's just that the realm they're from, that they live in, the graveyard energy, is on your altar. So that's what it's for. So I wouldn't put things up there. If anything, put a medallion on your deity altar or your dragon altar, and then you can wear it like that. That's what I would do, family. All right. Thank you so much. I needed to hear this. I'm reading Spiritual Growth, by the way, and I love it. Okay, Tajir. You're very welcome. You're very welcome, family. Treasure. Thank you. You're very welcome, Treasure. Do you think we should use hate or fear to help push ourselves toward our goal? For example, if you want to be successful hates the idea of being a failure at the same time? That's a good question. That's a good question, family. I wouldn't say hates the idea that you don't want to be there. I would say recognize that you don't want to be don't want to be a failure, because you know what a failure feels like. We all know, we all failed at something before. We all know what it will feel like to fail something, how much it will hurt, how much it will bother us. So I would say recognize that feeling of failure. Don't use hate. Try to keep your mind on the. So see, sometimes you just gotta play with the puzzle a little bit. So don't use hate or fear, which some people use it and it does motivate them. I can understand. Fear is a great motivator, right? If you're scared to move, sometimes fear will make you move. But I don't like to be in fear, family. I would just say recognize the truth, right? And this is a good question. Joe Neal Music, this is a good question. Recognize the truth, and the truth is, if you don't work hard, you're going to fail. And you know what failure feels like. We all know what that feels like. So try to recognize instead of trying to use fear. If a person's sitting down every day and not doing nothing with their life, we know what's going to happen, right? So try to recognize the failure that you're going to have in life if you don't move, how that feels, instead of just being angry about it. Because some people in life, they really like to get beat up so they can move. I have a friend of mine, and I tell him sometimes, "No, bro, you shouldn't have did that. You shouldn't have did this." And he'll be like, "Man, why you just ain't yell my head off and just tell me?" I said, "Because, bro, that's not my nature." You know what I'm saying? I just want you to. Instead of doing that, I'm just helping you realize the truth. I don't need to yell all, but some people in their mind, they kind of feel like maybe this person should yell at me or give me some type of pain to make me move forward. And we don't always need pain and suffering or anger or hate. So I would say, no, family, don't use that. Use realization. Try to realize the truth about what's happening. All right? And that will help you. One of my Patreon people just texted me and said, they love these question and answer sessions. I'm glad y'all love it. That's why I do it. Family. You were in my girlfriend's dream. She said she was in Christian school, and they said you stray people away from Christianity. But they were having you as a speaker because you were nice. Yeah, okay. That's very interesting. Because if I went to that Christian school, I sure would stray people away from Christianity. Don't let me speak in a school like that. So that's dope, family. That's dope. How will spiritual gifts evolve as we ascend to 5D? Well, that's a good question. Once you hit 5D, you got to understand. Everybody in 5D has a 5D body. What does that mean? That means that they have a light body, or what you call Merkaba, the solar body, the rainbow body. They have all these different types of bodies, right? But they're solar bodies. That's really what they are. They're light bodies. Once you get a light body, family, you are immortal. You could never die. Shout out to Dr. Gibson, who taught me the science. You could never die. And you can manifest anything you want with your mind. You don't desire sex. You don't desire food. You don't desire water. But anything you want, you can manifest it with your mind. So the power will be your mind, your fifth dimensional mind that you will have. Now in 4D, there's a lot of gifts you get in 4D. Intuition, psychic abilities. See, but the key is to learn how to use these things in your dreams. I was just telling my wife, she don't like it when I talk like this, but I was just telling her I don't fear death. You know, I don't fear death. My fear is not having something left behind for my daughter as a father. That's all I fear. Because I prepared myself. When I go to sleep at night, I prepare myself for death. Learn how to prepare yourself for death. When you sleep at night, how do you do that? Learning how to wake up in your dreams. Try to remember to look at your hands. Try not to run from every scary thing you see in your dreams. A lot of times we run in our dreams because we don't know we're dreaming. A lot of times. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes you see things so horrific until you gotta run. You know what I'm saying? I saw something. I'm not going to talk about it because it was just sick and weird and crazy in the hell state a few weeks ago. That when I first saw it, I had to realize, oh, I'm dreaming. Right? But what is a dream? Dreams are real, family. Don't get it twisted. But when I said I'm dreaming, that means that I wasn't awake. So I woke myself up. You know, once I realized what's going on, I wake myself up. Once I woke myself up, and you know, and it was a family doing this crazy, weird stuff in the hell state. It was a family, you know, yeah. So, and I'm walking by, and a guy looking at me, you know, and I told him, I said, bro, you know, you might want to get out my face. You know what I'm saying? He looked at me. He said, this guy is different. You know what I'm saying? He looked at me and said, this guy is different. So he just kind of backed up a little bit and kind of just turned around and walked away. Because anybody else in a dream state would have ran from this guy. This was some, what's that movie called? Devil's Reject type of stuff I saw down there. And this family apparently committed suicide and killed all themselves together. And they stuck in this hell state, and they doing some crazy, weird stuff down there. Right? And I don't know why I had to observe that, but I observed it. And there was a lot more going on in that family. And, you know, the guy kind of looked like he was going to press me, and he looked like this dude was different. And he just walked away. Why isn't he scared? That's because I woke up in a dream and I realized what was going on. No matter what happened to me here, I'm not going to die in the physical world. You know? So when he looked back again and was like talking to somebody and looked pointing at me, I took off and flew into the air. And then they really was like, you know, I love doing that. That's my favorite thing to do. If I'm in a dream state, I love to fly in front of people because people's reaction is the same thing will be in the physical world. It's the same thing. People love it. Like, oh my God, look at this guy. It's crazy. And I'm telling y'all, there's more going on in hell. I call it hell states. It's really the second dimension. There's more going on there than it is on Earth. Earth is small with people compared to all the millions of people that have died throughout all the thousands of millions of years on Earth. A lot of these people still down there. Even on a fourth dimension, the higher dimension, where it's a little bit better. People actually live in spiritual cities and stuff like that. A lot of people have been there for thousands of years. So you got people that way more people in these different dimensions than there is on Earth. The Earth is empty compared to these realms. All right. Yosef, I gave my father a quartz crystal and told him to hold it for healing. And when he was in the hospital, he loved it, I buried the crystal with his ashes after he passed. Do you find it significant? I don't think it's significant, family, but it's not a bad idea. Especially if that crystal was empowered and your dad's energy and consciousness, because that crystal already read your father's consciousness when he was still alive. So to put it with his ashes is no problem. No problem, family. What does it feel like when your third eye first opens up at night? I get flashes, but I can't lie, I get a little scared, like overwhelmed. I wonder if this hold me back. No, it won't. It won't hold you back, family. It won't hold you back. Hold on one second. So no, it won't hold you back, family. The third eye opening is different for everybody. So to tell you what it's like is like I just can tell you my experience. You know what I mean? And I know what you mean when you're trying to sleep at night and you see these flashes, especially when you're in a dark room. Sometimes you can see the flashes in your room. And I remember when I first moved to Texas, I got in this house, I cleansed the house. But there was this entity, that's all I can call it, because I'm not really sure what it was. Eventually, I stopped it from coming through here. It would literally walk through my front door and walk through the window on the right side of my house. And sometimes I'd be in the kitchen and I would just see this white, hazy, grayish, white, hazy image walking towards the window. So I'm sitting in the living room one night, and sure enough, here it come. You know what I'm saying? Here it come. And when it came up and walked through the window, I had my wand just, right next to me. So when it came and walked through the window, I pointed at the wand, and it just, I didn't do nothing to it, y'all. What I'm trying to say is that it separated. It's like it got scared when I did that. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't expecting that. But sure enough, it came back again, right? And I can tell that this thing is a wandering spirit. It doesn't know what it's doing, but it saw me. Even though it doesn't know what it's doing, it recognized me, right? And I'm thinking that in this area, this person might have passed away, and they might have been walking this same route, and my house is part of it. So I had to do some anointing things, and I had to put some things outside the door, and some things, hang up some pictures in my house. And eventually it stopped coming through. It stopped coming through, family. So, yeah. And what I mean by hanging things in the house, the more protection pictures you have in your house, the more protection sigils, the more protective medallions, right? You got all this protective energy in your house. A lot of negative things to stay away, because they can see it in the house before they even see anything else. I'm going to tell y'all something. Spirits don't really see the physical person when they look at you. They see the energy around you. They see your aura, and they see a person's haze inside the aura. So they don't see the physical person. They see the actual energy around a person. So when you walking towards a house, they can see the house to a certain extent, but they can see more of the energy signatures inside the house. So a spirit could be walking down the street, and they can see auras as it walks down the street, as it floats down the street, whatever it's doing, and they can tell who has a weak aura. Okay, I'm gonna fly in this house. I'm just gonna jump inside this person's aura. Yeah, they do that. Absolutely. They do that, family. So sometimes I get carried away. I don't know what the question was again. Oh, the third eye. So yes. Yes, you don't think it's holding you back, family. It's natural to be feel afraid, scared. For me, when my first eye first opened, I would start to see auras. That's the first thing that started happening to me, family. After I started seeing auras, I would start seeing people standing next to trees. And I started to see ghosts, and it just kind of opened up from there. So it's different for everybody. How can Shintoism help my spiritual path? I can tell you that, family, but I will want you to read the book. How can Shintoism help my spiritual path? Shintoism is very powerful spiritual art, but it ain't for everybody. So what I'm saying is, that's a very easy question, because you have to ask yourself, what is Shintoism? If you knew what Shintoism was, then you would know if it could help you or not. So I'll at least answer that question. What is Shintoism? Shintoism is a form of Asian shamanism. It's an Asian version of shamanism, family. All right. Now, some people can go in deeper and say, "Oh, it's a religion. It's a connection to the divine." Yeah, I could say all that, but to make it simple, it's really shamanism. It's it's an Asian version, a type of shamanism. Because you got other types like Taoism, right? Which is another form of sorcery mixed with shamanism. So Taoism is more sorcery mixed with Taoism or shamanism. But if you're talking about Shinto, you're talking about a very powerful type of shamanism from an Asian perspective. All right. Somebody asked me, what's the protection picture? Family, there's a lot of protection pictures. You can go and print a picture of this out and put it on your wall. I actually hang some of these on the wall of my house. You know what I'm saying? I can't wear them all every day. So I actually hang them around my house. My daughter has one hanging in her room. You know what I mean? But you can get pentagrams. You can get helm of Oz, different colors, different shapes, different sizes. You can get words of power, Om Mani Padme Om, to raise the vibration. Something that raises the vibration house is also a protective thing, right? You can get Sri Yantras, right? I like to put also prayers, the miracle prayer, right? And I have a lot of other prayers that I use. You know, I research things and I put them up in my house. There's also pictures I do have from when I went to different lectures with Dr. Gibson, to his lectures years ago, that I got that I'm not supposed to share with people. Right? So sometimes you got to pay to get some, to get some things, and So yeah, I have pictures from lectures from the past that I hang in my house that I'm not supposed to share with people. You know what I mean? So I have a lot of those type of things, fam. Just look up protection symbols and paint them jokers in your house, all over your house, fam. Sherry Shiner said the fifth dimension is where beings go that have been soul scouts. Is that true? I'm not sure who Sherry Shiner is. I would not say that the fifth dimension is where people go that have been soul scouted. I wouldn't say that, family. In my opinion, I wouldn't say that. But you do make me interested to see who she is. She said Sherry Shiner. She doesn't seem to show her face, but I see a few videos. But yeah, I'm not sure who that is, family. If that's what she believes, and that's cool with her. I would say that's, in my opinion, that's not what it is, family. I'm very careful answering questions that people ask me. Is this person, what this person said is true? I usually don't answer questions like that, because what it does is it goes back, and a person could be trying to set me up. I'm not trying to say that's what you're trying to do, but a person could try to set me up and say, well, Brother Yosef said this. I've had people do that to me before. And now you got two spiritual teachers arguing that somebody done set up. So I would ask if anybody heard a teacher say something, just ask me the question, but don't say, is it true what they said? Because I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to get into that debate with that person. You know what I mean? Let's see here. I'm seeing a lot of the same people, family, so I am going to skip around a little bit. Let me see here. Let me see. I think you mentioned looking at your hands to wake up in a dream. Any other dream? I want you to try that first, family. Try that. Yes, there's other techniques, but try that first, and then tell me if there's anything else. Tell me your experience with it. And I want y'all to please ask the questions on here. Don't ask the questions in the Patreon, because I'm not going to look at them right now. Do you have any advice on how to do altar work as a working truck driver? I'm working on building an online business, and to get this job, I really want to keep up with my spiritual work. Yes, family. If you can find an area in the truck that you can set up an altar, you can actually buy. You can buy altars that you can travel with. You can look them up on the internet. You're gonna see Asian looking altars, but you can get those. But I would say find a space in your truck, like a little shelf or something, that you can keep your altar on top of, family. If you got to put it back together every now and then, that's cool. Or you can also just burn some ancestor money for your family every now and then, whether you have an altar or not. Have you ever used your eyelashes to see in the sunlight to see spiritual orbs around you? I have not done that, family. Let's see here. I'm gonna skip around a little bit, y'all. Saigon, what are you talking about, bro? He said, Brother Yosef, do you worship Jesus? I'm surprised you would even ask me a question like that. Absolutely not, bro. I saw an interesting one on here. Where is it? I'm gonna skip back and forth, y'all. Okay, I finally got my 98 number through the IRS. It's considered a foreign corporation. Advice on operating with the EIN. Well, a 98 number, family. I'm not a tax professional. I'm not a licensed attorney. I do this for informational purposes only. You know what I mean? I do have a 98 number. I have a couple of them myself. And for those of you who don't know what a 98 number is, a 98 number is a tax exempt foreign number that you get from the IRS. All right. It's a secret to how to get those. And a lot of people get those. So you got to understand, family, your 98 represents your trust. The 98, that's not something you take to the bank. That's not something you use to go to Walmart and get tax exemption. Trust me, when I was young and I was doing this years ago, that's what I try to do. I try to go to Walmart with my 98 number and I need tax exemption right away. They weren't trying to hear it. So that's something that you use to put your property into. You use it as a trust, right? It's your holding company, family. That's what you want to do. That's how you want to operate in it. You want to operate with it as a trust. So you want to create your trust, and that's the number that's going to identify the trust, the foreign trust. Right? And that's how you operate with that, family. All right. I had a dream I was in an airport. They asked for my birth certificate. I gave them a photo of a dead Asian lady and her son, and a photo of me as a kid at Disneyland. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me see. Do you have any advice on how to do altar work as working? Okay, I answered that question already. If I have a karmic debt number 13 and my life number is 4, how can I work on paying that debt and focusing on ascension? Well, the number 4, that's what the 4 is all about. It's about making you work for it. So you need to face that, family. Debt can be repaid. Debt can be transformed into, a debt number is also your karmic, dealing with the karma, and the karma can be turned into dharma, So you just got to work for it, family. That means that life ain't going to be easy. If my life path is a 4, my destiny is a 7, which is spirituality, but my life path is 4. So trust me, to this day, everything Brother Yosef that's really going to help me in my life, I have to really, really get it from the mud. I have to really, really learn it from the mud. Nobody's going to hand it out to me. And that's something I just accepted. So you have to do some hard work, family. I tell people, I have no high school diploma, no GED, and I'm able to take care of my family. So I want y'all to understand that it wasn't hard for me. It wasn't easy for me. So some people who have a life path number 4, you have to accept the fact that life will be hard at first until you figure things out. All right, it will be hard, family. Brother Yosef, I have a lot of X's on my left palm. What does that mean? That means that you have mastered many things in your past life. You're here to wake up, family. You're here to wake up. Brother, peace, brother. I always watch the live streams, but they don't say much. What's your thoughts on whether it's better to stack silver or gold, given the big chances in the market currency? Well, listen, that's a good question, family. Let me read that again. What's your thoughts on whether it's better to stack silver or gold and the big changes in the market currently? I'm gonna tell y'all. See, this is a big secret, and elite, and a lot of people who make money. Robert Kiyosaki always talks about this. Robert Kiyosaki tells you to stack silver over gold because silver is one of the most undervalued currencies / precious metals in the world. It is the most undervalued. Copper is undervalued as well, but silver is very undervalued. And there's a big belief that one day soon, silver will not be undervalued anymore. It will be worth tons of money. And in the future, nobody will be able to buy silver because it'll be too expensive. So I have gold. I buy gold, but I buy silver more than anything because it's easy to access, it's cheap. And I know in the future, it'll be worth a lot more money than it's worth now. So some people say this can happen in the next 5 years. In the next 5 years, they say that silver will outperform gold. That's what they say. Robert Kiyosaki saying it, everybody. And they say that it's purposely being undervalued. Somebody who's very powerful is pushing silver down on purpose. So what do I say with that? I say snatch up as much silver that you can, but don't flip on gold. Get you some gold here and there, but buy as much silver as you can, family. Silver is definitely undervalued. Silver should at least be $200 or $300. Look how much gold is. Silver at the least should be $200 or $300 at the least. I would say $300. Silver should be at least $300 an ounce, at least. At least. And the fact that it's not is crazy. So the more silver you stack, you can come up in a major way. All right. So that's a great question. That's a great question. And that's always real money, the money of God. There's a ritual that if you carry a silver coin in your pocket every day, money will come to you. That's an old hoodoo spell. Carry a silver coin in your pocket every day or your wallet, money will naturally come to you. You know what I'm saying? I knew a dude who wasn't even into spirituality. One of our supervisors, he used to do it. This before I even understood it. And I'm a spiritual dude. And this is back in the years ago, like 2010. I said, man, what's that in your wallet? He said, oh, that's a piece of silver. It's a little tiny bar. He said, oh, I'll just keep that in my wallet. He said, my girlfriend, she was a witch. And she told me to always do that. And he said, man, I've been keeping money ever since. So some of y'all can try that. Give it a try. Breathing helped me control my anger in the heat of the moment. Okay. I had a vision of a gigantic snake surrounding me and looking at me. Then I saw myself through its eyes. Soon afterwards, I see a naga in front of me. What's your take on this? First of all, the snake is your spirit animal. And also your spiritual lineage comes from the line of the naga. Whenever you see through the eyes of a deity, which nagas are deities, they're demigods, but they're deities. Some of them are demons, some of them are angels. When you see through the eyes of a naga or any spiritual being, that's because a version of that is you. So that's what that means, family. A part of your spiritual lineage is that of a naga. So you might want to start working with some naga stones. Is it good to? It's a good idea. Is it a good idea to set up altars in your bedroom? Where are good areas to place them? So it's two places I always say that you shouldn't set up an altar. Three places really. Never set up an altar in the bathroom. I learned that the hard way. Never set up an altar in the bedroom, but the guys don't want to. The guys don't want to. They don't want to see you and your significant other getting it on, and they don't want to hear you snoring and sleep. They don't want to hear none of that stuff. So do not set it up in your room. Do not set it up in your kitchen, and do not set it up in your bathroom. Now, Saraswati, I had a cousin who used to set his Saraswati, who's the goddess of the arts, and he was a cook and stuff like that. He had a Saraswati altar in his kitchen, and she loved it. That's rare though, because he's the chef. He used to be cooking in there. But if you're just a regular person, don't set no altars up in your kitchen. So I would say set it up in in the living room, or if you live in a dorm and you're a student, then that's the only place you got. Then the guys will understand. The guys will understand. But if all possible, I would say try to set it up on a wall shelf. Get you one of these, right? And stick it in the corner. These are small. They get bigger as they go down. They get bigger as they go down. But, it's big enough to put different types of altars on. So I would put altars on those, get a bookshelf, or get a wall shelf, something on the wall where you can get a wall shelf. That's what I would do, family. All right? And try to put them in, because some people's apartments are small. I had a 2-bedroom apartment one time, and it was only so much space we had. So I put altars all in the living room and the dining room. That's where my altars were. Someone was in the hallway. Let's see here. Let me skip around. I answered this one because I don't think I answered one from this person. Are there levels to opening your third eye, or either open, or it either open or close? I see bubbles and shapes coming from the sky, but no spirits, other entities. What are the thoughts on stage of my third eye? So you're going to start working with the third eye in your dreams. That's when you first want to start doing. Your dreams are going to get very intense. You're going to start dreaming about things you don't even understand, entities you've never seen before. The bubbles and the swiggly things you see in the sky is energy. Believe it or not, that's life force energy that you're seeing in the sky. Those are also parts of the code of the matrix that you live in. It's also parts of the code of the matrix that you live in. I know what you're talking about. When you look up at water, or you look up in the blue sky, you see these swiggly lines, or you see the little small bubbles. That's energy, family. You breathe that stuff in. All right. So make sure you're taking the right things. Harataki. Shout out to Brother Dreamwise. Y'all can get that on my website. He has some great Harataki. What is it called? Y'all can go to my website and go to Marketplace. I think it's Marketplace, and you can get the stuff there. His stuff is good, y'all. You can also go to get you some trace mineral drops. Is good. Some people say gold. I never really had an effect on my third eye from gold, but gold does work on the third eye. It mostly works with the DNA, mostly. Well, that's what it really works with, the DNA. And platinum works with DNA even better. But colloidal platinum, colloidal gold. But I would say get you some trace mineral drops, family, and get you some Harataki and go in. Start doing exercises. I was doing all that stuff, third eye exercises. Read you a good spiritual book of an angel or a spirit before you go to bed and try to manifest that in your dreams. Try to see if your third eye will take you there. That's what you should do, family. This is an interesting question. What are some good offerings to appease or honor the spirit of a city? That's hard to answer because every city likes different things. Y'all know how some cities are known for barbecue, right? Some cities are known for carrying guns, like Texas. People carry guns down here. It's crazy. Right out in the open. Some people are known for pizza, right? Just give you some guys some examples. So different cities have different spirits to them. So it's hard to really understand what a city wants. Usually, sometimes a blood sacrifice of a very famous person in a city is a offering to a city. A lot of times, sometimes, not that the purpose intentionally is doing that, but that's how it ends up going. So it's hard to really. There's no specific thing a city likes. You have to literally talk to the city, the spirit of the city, to figure that out, family. All right. I always have questions when you're not live, and then when you then forget when you go live. Yeah, that happens even on consultation. Some people they finally get on a consultation, they don't know what to ask me, or they nervous. Look, when y'all do consultation with Brother Yosef, you don't have to be nervous. I'm here to help you. We can talk about anything you want. Also, I see you guys hit me up for consultations for the Patreon. I'm gonna get with y'all. All right, I'm gonna get with y'all. This is a good question. Do you think your time as a Christian helped you develop or discipline you for spirituality? Absolutely. I can't lie. My time as a Christian definitely disciplined me because I was already praying as a Christian. I was already trying to seek a spirit, trying to connect with a spirit, So I already had that emotional attachment. I used to cry when I prayed to Jesus. So it was easy for me to be emotional and to give my all to the spirits when I used to, pray and really mean it and be sincere, right? And I still pray over certain things today. And whether I use the miracle prayer or whatever, that's all comes from my spiritual growth. Also, my morality, my sense of respect for people, and respecting my elders and stuff. That's all. A lot of that comes from growing up in a Christian environment. You know what I mean? All right, y'all. It's about a little bit past an hour. I'm about to get off of here. I recently bought the Dream Enhancer. How do I use it? I didn't see anything in the instructions. So usually when you go to the website and you go back to the product before you buy it, there's usually instructions there. But hey, maybe it was missing. You know what I mean? So the Dream Enhancer spell family is something I was given. And if you look at the spell family, there's a spell behind that picture. Has a lot going on. So what you see is a moon, and you see water. What looks like water, ripples of water. And behind it, you see this code, this binary code that says something that I'm not going to say on here. And your subconscious mind picks it up. Also, you see something called a tesseract, which is a fourth dimensional travel device. You know what I mean? It's a fourth dimensional symbol, tesseract. And the tesseract's in front of the moon and is dipping down into what looks like this watery substance, which represents the universe. All you have to do to activate that family is look at it for like 2 minutes and put it under your pillow when you sleep. Put it under your pillow when you sleep, family. And it will help you dream. It will help you become lucid in your dreams. All right. Have you ever met the Dragonfell Draken? Do you know anything info about him? I have never met the Dragonfell Draken. It will be an honor. You understand? It will be an honor to meet him. I have never met him. Only things I know about him is from what I've read about him through Dr. Gibson. What are your thoughts on Thoth and the transfer of consciousness mentioned in the Emerald Tablets? I don't know, family. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. What are your thoughts on it? I mean, how did it affect you? I haven't read the Emerald Tablets in forever. I was amazed, so excited when I first read it. I read the Emerald Tablets back in like 2010, 2009, maybe. I still have the book too, and I don't think I've read it since 2010. I've read the whole book like 2 times in 2010, and but I don't know, family. I don't know how to answer that question. I don't know how to answer that question, family. So no, I've never met the Dragonfell Draken. Have you noticed airplanes and helicopters are closer to the ground than before? It's very odd how close they are to buildings. No, I haven't noticed that, family. I'm not sure what city you live in, but I haven't noticed that. I want to learn protection magic to protect myself strongly, but I don't know where to start. Any advice? Yeah, family. Smoothish. I'm not sure how new you are, but you might want to go back on all my. If you're in the $20 section, go back on all my. I've given away so many spells, incantations, oils. I mean, just not too long ago, I gave away some healing, some protective stuff. So you might want to go through my videos, family. I gave away war water. I gave away all kinds of stuff. You want to learn how to protect your house? I gave away so many tools, family, to protect your house, to protect yourself. Even if you go to YouTube and look at my video when I talked about the Helm of All, I gave away an egg ritual in there. Right? I gave away so many things, family. So you just have to watch the videos. All right? So I love y'all, family. It's always a pleasure to be in here and chat. It was 58 people in here today. Okay, that's good. Usually by the end of the night, a lot of people will come on. Shout out to everybody that wasn't able to be on here. I understand some people can't be on here all the time. So, shout out to everybody that's coming on or who's going to see this later. Peace and love. We're gonna, I do these live streams. Let me tell y'all something. I do these live streams to look and observe people, to see what type of questions y'all ask, to see how much more evolved y'all are. The type of questions y'all ask me, the type of and I'm gonna tell y'all asking some really good questions. Y'all questions that really going to another level. All right. Somebody said, Brother Joseph, how do you get your mojo back? Get you a mojo bag, brother. Get you a mojo bag. That's something else I've shown on here. How they make a mojo bag. And I've shown that on YouTube. Create you a mojo bag, also called a grizz bag or a medicine bag. Right? So, yes. So, yes, family. I try to hit y'all with something really cool every month. I think last month I hit y'all with the healing fire technique. So we're going to have something good coming up this month. I'm going to try to think of something good for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Something good. I got a few books I want to show you guys. Told you guys about this book, The Murder of Reality, The Hidden Symbol of the Dragon. You know what I'm saying? Really good book. I'm not done reading it yet, but I've been busy, but so far it's a pretty good book, y'all. I also got another one that's very interesting, because a lot of things I said in my Atlanta lecture, this man is saying. A lot of things I said in my Atlanta lecture. Shout out to the other people that was other speakers. The Master Student Conference 2. Shout out to Brother Dreamwise and everybody that was there. It's a lot of things I said in my lecture that's in this book. So this dude is on it, man. He's making a connection between extraterrestrials and aliens and all kind of stuff, man. Yes. He went in. And this book is called Holographic Culture. Holographic Culture by Perry Sabak. I flipped through this one a little bit. I haven't really gotten into reading it. You know, this is pretty good too. Holographic Culture. Live in a holographic universe. You know what I mean? The weekend, what's today? Monday. So this past weekend, I was checking this out on my downtime. The Articles of Confederation explained. Gotta stay up on my law. Gotta stay up on the law, family. So for those of you who don't know what the Articles of Confederation is, hopefully y'all do. The Articles of Confederation was the first United States Constitution. Let me rephrase that. The first Constitution of the United States of America, where, you know, the White House, or not the White House, but the capital of the country was in Philadelphia. You know what I mean? And this is the Articles of Confederation. Goes into some explanation here. It's pretty good. You know, it's a study book. But, you know, got to keep sharp on my law. You know what I'm saying? Got to stay sharp on that. Very important, family. So, look, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. More stuff coming. And we're going to talk soon. Also, I would recommend, listen, man. I bought the lecture from Dr. Gibson, Rapid Enlightenment. It's a must. There's two things I recommend y'all seeing if y'all haven't been on Dr. Gibson's website. The Order of the Green Dragon. Yeah, I know it's cost some money, but if you want the information, it's there. Order of the Green Dragon was, you know, just when Brother Yosef thought he knew it all. Master Gibson is still the only person that still blows my mind to this day. And also rapid enlightenment. I think, rapid deification. You know what I'm saying? He talked about how Marie Laveau is still alive. Dr. Gibson talked about how Marie Laveau is still alive. She's not dead. Marie Laveau. It's part of a secret order, and she's still alive. She's an immortal. Talked about how Marie Laveau is an immortal, and she's still alive. That was amazing. So the information that we want to use to evolve is there, family. It's there. All right. So I love y'all, and I will holler at y'all in the next video. Peace and blessings to everybody. Peace.